From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, September 28th. It's going to be a great fall day, mostly sunny skies, cool temperatures. The big difference for our Wednesday is going to be that the winds aren't going to be as breezy during the day, so that's the good news. Highs are set to top out in the mid-60s. Hurricane Ian keeps getting stronger as it charges toward Florida, leading to evacuation orders for millions. More than 2.5 million people are under mandatory evacuations as of 8:30 this morning. Ian is a Category 4 storm, just shy of a Category 5 storm. So right now it has sustained wind of 155 miles per hour. At 157 miles per hour, that category shifts to a 5. That is the most dangerous, largest hurricane that we have on the size scale. It is closing in on landfall in Florida today. The National Hurricane Center now calls Ian an extremely dangerous hurricane as it approaches Florida's west coast. The storm slowed over the Gulf. It grew wider and stronger. Tropical storm force winds reached the coast overnight. Major flooding is already reported in Key West because of the storm surge. Officials in Broward County reported at least 2 possible tornadoes. A crew of 45 Indiana Task Force 1 team members and 6 support members left yesterday for Florida. They're in Alabama right now. That's where the team last tweeted from. In southern Alabama, just waiting for its direction from FEMA. Task Force 1 specializes in search and rescue operations, and the crew is prepared to stay in Florida for up to 2 weeks. Experts do not expect Hurricane Ian to impact U.S. gas prices, even as the storm derails oil production in the Gulf of Mexico. BP and Chevron evacuated crews from offshore oil and natural gas fields yesterday. Company leaders say it was out of safety, and Ian is not actually projected to cross that area. Analysts say those evacuations account for 485,000 barrels of oil, which is only a minor loss for overall production. According to Gas Buddy, the national average this morning for a gallon of gas is $3.71. Indiana's average is a little higher at $3.96. The hurricane is postponing a major public hearing in Washington. The congressional committee investigating the Capitol attack will not meet today. Members of the panel have said they'll release new information about the insurrection and take new public testimony. No word yet on a new date. A man convicted of attacking a Capitol police officer during the riot is sentenced to more than 7 years in prison. That's Kyle Young's punishment for attacking Officer Michael Fanone. Investigators say Young provided a taser that another man used on Fanone, who lost consciousness. Young and a co-defendant named Albuquerque Head pleaded guilty earlier this year. Head is scheduled to learn his sentence next month. A new lawsuit filed by an attorney here in Indiana is challenging President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. It's one of the first significant legal challenges to the debt relief program. It basically says people in some states like Indiana will have to pay state taxes for any student loan debt that's forgiven under the president's plan, taxes that they wouldn't necessarily owe otherwise. Frank Garrison is the plaintiff in the case and filed the lawsuit here in Indiana federal court yesterday. His online bio describes him as a public interest attorney who went to IU, lives in Indiana, and is employed by the nonprofit libertarian law firm Pacific Legal Foundation that's backing this lawsuit. The lawsuit argues that Biden's plan would automatically cancel up to $20,000 of Garrison's debt, which in turn would trigger an immediate tax liability from the state of Indiana. But under the debt forgiveness program he's enrolled in now, canceled debt cannot be taxed. The lawsuit says Garrison is also on track to get his student debt erased through a separate federal program for public servants. And because of that program, he would automatically be enrolled in Biden's plan. Under Biden's plan, people with certain income levels can get up to $10,000 of their federal student loan debt forgiven. If they have a federal Pell Grant, they can get up to $20,000 forgiven. According to the Indiana Department of Revenue, that $10,000 canceled would cost you around $300 in state income tax. There's also a county income tax, which varies. In Marion County, you would pay around $200 on top of the state income tax for a total of more than $500. For people getting $20,000 of debt forgiven, total state tax payments for a Marion County resident could be more than $1,000. When the White House was asked about the lawsuit, the press secretary said anyone will be able to opt out of the debt cancellation plan, but she did not explain how that would work. Right now, Indiana is one of a few states that will tax people for this student loan debt relief, but people will not have to pay any federal taxes. A lawyer for the Satanic Temple says the group is challenging Indiana's abortion ban because it doesn't want religious ideas to influence the law. The Satanic Temple, based in Massachusetts, filed the lawsuit on Monday in Indianapolis. It argues a person owns the property of their uterus, so they have the right to control it. The group claims a person is stripped of their constitutional rights if they become pregnant after using birth control methods. The group also argues the ban violates the 13th Amendment, which makes involuntary servitude illegal. The Satanic Temple's lawyer says it is the only group taking this approach to abortion bans. He believes that's the reason why the group can take the lawsuit up to the Supreme Court. You can read more about the lawsuit online right now at wishtv.com. The Indiana Court of Appeals says it will not speed up the decision on the state's appeal of the new abortion law. A 3-judge panel unanimously voted yesterday to deny Attorney General Todd Rokita's request. He's asking the court to set aside Special Judge Kelsey Hanlon's injunction blocking enforcement of the law that went into effect on September 15th. The ACLU had sued on behalf of abortion providers, saying it violated constitutional protections. The Court of Appeals says the ACLU has until October 3rd before a decision will be made. A new initiative aimed to support Indiana filmmakers is bringing their movies to local theaters. There are 6 different local theaters participating, including the Can Cinema. The goal is to bring Indiana films to Indiana theaters and get people back into the cinemas. Monthly movie nights started this month. There are 2 screenings this week and a whole lineup for October. Hoosier Films has over 100 different filmmakers in their network. The CEO, Meredith McGriff, says that there are even more short films made in Indiana every year. As we have reported on Daybreak, the Can's parent company, Cineworld, recently filed for bankruptcy. McGriff says that they work with the theaters like the Can that are working hard to come back from the pandemic. Hoosier Films is working on a lineup for some spookier films for October. And the state says many more public car charging stations will be in place within 2 years. INDOT says the federal government has signed off on Indiana's electric vehicle infrastructure plan. It puts $100 million toward installing at least 44 fast charging stations near the state's major highway interchanges. And INDOT says once the chargers are in place, everyone in the state will live within 40 miles of one. The chargers can charge a flat battery to 80% full within an hour. Some critics of the plan say government involvement will tamp down private investment. INDOT says bids for the stations will go out sometime in the middle of next year, and the stations should be ready by the middle of 2024. We've got a link to the full plan right now at wishtv.com. And the report shows Americans are getting more confident in the U.S. economy. The Conference Board says its latest consumer confidence index rose to 108 this month, up from 103.6 in August. The back-to-back monthly increases follow 3 straight monthly declines. The CDC is changing its masking recommendations. The agency now recommends healthcare workers wear masks when working with patients in areas of high community transmission, but no longer need to wear them in a low transmission area. The CDC says the changes are based on current COVID-19 data nationwide. President Biden is touting his new plan to cut health care costs for older Americans. The changes would cut Medicare Part B premiums, amounting to a savings of about $5 a month. The government says those premiums have risen 14.5% this year. Medicare Part B covers things like doctor visits, outpatient hospital services, and some in-home care. To the Pacers, single-game tickets go on sale today. The sale begins at 2 this afternoon. The team says fans can register for pre-sale access by signing up online for the team's insider program. The Pacers will kick off the season with 3 straight home games. The first tip-off is at Gainbridge Fieldhouse October 19th against the Washington Wizards. And to business headlines, 20-year mortgage refinance rates topped 7% Tuesday, and 30-year rates not far behind. Rates in January were 3.2%. As long as mortgage rates remain near 7%, housing analysts tell Fortune we'll see downward pressure on home prices in the near term. Lumber prices are back to their pre-pandemic levels. Lumber prices exploded that summer when stuck-at-home Americans remodeled en masse and suburban home sales surged. And there's now a Roomba vacuum that also mops. The J7 Plus has a fully retractable mop pad that lifts itself to the top of the robot when it encounters carpet and rugs, the first 2-in-1 of its kind, preventing wet carpet messes. For nearly 4 out of 5 Americans, the ideal welcoming committee has 4 legs. That's according to a new poll of 2,000 pet owners done by One Poll on behalf of Chewy. where 78% agree that seeing their pet when they come home is the best part of their day. The survey found many Americans pick their vacation destination and even their friends based on their pets. McDonald's new Happy Meal for the adults is designed by Cactus Plant Flea Market, which has also done projects with the likes of Kanye West and Pharrell Williams. It'll feature a choice of food items as well as toy surprises. The new Happy Meals will be available from October 3rd in stores, drive-thru, and via the McDonald's app. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.